Hey everyone, it's Mel from Mel's Bells Crafts. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really quick and simple Christmas tree garland, which I have turned into a really neat way to display my Christmas cards. So if you're anything like me, I get sent lots and lots of Christmas cards from family and friends, and I love to display them on a Christmas tree garland. So I'm going to show you how to make that today. First, you're going to be grabbing your supplies. Today I'm using We Crochet's Vivity line, and this color is appropriately named Douglas Fir. And it's really pretty. I love the sheenness to this yarn. So if you haven't tried it already, I would definitely go and pick yourself up some. And this is just a number 4 worsted weight yarn. That's what I'm going to be using. And I had some of these wooden beads, a tub of them. They are from Walmart. They come in various sizes, but you can use whatever you have on hand, and I'm going to be using the smallest size from this tub. And I'm just going to be grabbing different colors that I have here. You can use any size beads that you like, but today I'm going to be using the smallest ones. If you're going to be using like a bulky weight yarn or super bulky yarn, I would definitely be using the larger size beads. But since I'm going to be using, just a worsted, I think that the smallest beads will work quite nicely. You're going to need some scissors, of course, and a crochet hook. I am using a 4 with my number 4 worsted, but you can use whichever size hook that is recommended by the label on whichever yarn you're going to be using. And next, you're going to need a darning needle, and you're going to want to use a thin enough needle that it is still able to go through the center of your bead. So see, my darning needle is thin enough to go through the center, because it's that can be quite frustrating if your darning needle is too big to go through the eye of the bead. And lastly, I'm using some jute string. That is how I'm going to be making my garland, okay? Okay, and then these little miniature clothespins are what I'm going to be gluing on the back of my Christmas trees. And these I just picked up at a craft store here in town. I think it was Hobby Lobby or Michael's, I'm not too sure. But they're just little miniature size clothespins. They're really cute. I got a whole bag of them for, I don't know, it was like less than $5. And that we are going to put a little dab of glue on the bottom of the tree, and that is what we are going to use to hang the Christmas cards. And lastly, if you don't have some of this stuff, it's called Stiffen Quick. It's fabric stiffening spray. I would definitely recommend this if you're using a lighter weight yarn, because it does tend to be a little flimsy as is. So I use the stiffening spray to sort of make my Christmas tree a little bit more rigid and hold its shape better. Okay, now to get started here, I'm going to do a slip knot. And I'm going to insert my hook through the loop, and I'm going to pull it tight. Now, this is just basically a really long chain, and you can single crochet back down your really long chain. Or you can do a foundation single crochet, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and into the first chain, I'm going to insert my hook. Okay, I'm going to yarn over, and here we go. I'm going to pull up a loop, okay, and I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to pull through just one, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. So what you're essentially doing if you've never done a foundation single crochet before is you're making your foundation and your single crochet row at the same time. So you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert your hook. Make sure you go through both of the V on your stitch, okay? So not just through one little stitch. Make sure you're going through the entire stitch is what I mean. Okay, just like that. And then pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and you can make your foundation single crochet as long as you like. I did mine a total of 120 times. So you're just going to make one really long foundation single crochet. And then I'm going to show you what to do next. Okay, so I went ahead and did the rest of that off camera, and I have my really long foundation single crochet, and this is what it looks like. And now you're just going to go ahead and zigzag this back and forth and shaping your tree. I start from the bottom and work my way to the top. And this is what your tree is going to look like when we're all done. So I go ahead and a lot of the times I just kind of eyeball it, but basically, you're going to, the lower part of your tree obviously is going to be wider than it is towards the top. And I forgot to mention that you are going to want to cut a long piece of yarn because that is how we are going to thread the beads through it. And I basically kind of do this as I go. I'm going to go ahead and insert my yarn through the eye of my darning needle. And basically I'm going to kind of go in the center here. And I want, the levels of my tree to be pretty even. So I'm going to kind of go right about here. And before I go ahead and go through the next level of my tree, I am going to use my first bead, okay? And you might want to tie a knot down here at the bottom just like I did to kind of anchor that yarn down. Otherwise you might, just end up pulling your whole yarn through and then you're gonna have beads everywhere. So, okay, so I've got my bead here. And I'm just going to go ahead and thread my yarn through. And then I'm going to make my next level for the tree. Okay, so I'm going to again try to go in the middle. So maybe somewhere like right about here. I think I'll put it right there. And I'm just going to pull it tight, and there, I've made my first little, tree branch. I'm going to zigzag my way back to the other side. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and add another bead. So see, every time you add a new level to your tree, you're going to separate it by adding a bead. And I just think it looks nice. It's cute. It's easy to do. And it kind of just holds everything together. And as you're making your tree taller, all of the quote unquote branches are getting shorter and shorter as we're working our way to the top. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and keep working just like this. Grab another bead. Oh, whoops. And I'm just gonna go ahead and keep moving just like that. And if you need to kind of, you know, zigzag a few levels ahead just to kind of give yourself a better visual, sometimes I do that too. If you make a mistake though, I mean, all you have to do is pull the thread back out, and not the thread, the yarn, and you can kind of start over if you feel like you've made a mistake somewhere. All right. All right, I'm at the top of my tree. I'm going to put one last little bead, and I believe I've used 8 beads there. Just like that. And you should have a tail up at the top here. Go ahead and just weave that through your top bead. And then you can tie a knot once you've weaved that tail through. That way it just really secures it. Honestly, you know, this would make like a super cute ornament as well. If you don't want to tie a knot, you know, right here, you can make a loop up at the top and just hang it on, you know, a present as a present accessory. You can hand it to like your kids' teachers at Christmas time. It makes a really cute decoration as well. Okay, the tail down here at the bottom, I just go ahead and weave that through here and kind of disguise that. That was the tail that I used for the beads. This tail over here, I go ahead and I fasten that to the next level up to sort of close my tree. And then, you know, I think it looks more like finished, gives it a more finished look. And then after I've, you know, tied a knot and secured it, I just go ahead and weave in my tail. Okay, that should be good right there. And that's basically it. You've made your tree, and I have all the different colors of those beads, so I'm just going to make several of them and use different color beads for each tree. Now, before I assemble my garland, I use that Stiff and Quick spray, and I just go ahead and spray both sides of my tree. And I use a pretty generous amount of that spray. It doesn't, you know, discolor my yarn or make my beads look, it doesn't change the appearance in any way. It dries clear is what I'm trying to say. And basically I just let that dry really good. I think the bottle says that you need to leave it for at least an hour, but you know, I just kind of take my time when I'm making these, and I spray the first side really, really well, make sure it's dry, and then I flip them over and spray them again. So here, I think I've left them, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours to dry. And I flip them over and I'm just gonna spray them down again and get the backside really well. Once your Christmas trees are good and dry, you're gonna get a hot glue gun and put a little dollop there at the bottom of your bottom bead, and whichever side you don't want, I guess it's on the wrong side, whichever side you're not planning to have face the front. And I have my lovely assistant here helping me. And you're gonna just basically go ahead and place that clothespin in the dollop of glue. And that is what you are going to use to hang up your Christmas cards. Now I've attached some jute string across the top of my fireplace. This is where I like to display my Christmas cards, and you can use really anything. You don't have to get the jute string. If you want to just use the same yarn that you use to make the trees, you can. And then you are going to just hang up your trees. And then I just go ahead and throw the yarn to the back side. Okay. And you know what? Instead of using the jute string, it might be cute, because I used to have this really pretty Christmas ornament garland that I would put over my fireplace before I got the sound bar, but now it doesn't fit. So even if you made this and hung it from your actual Christmas garland that is meant to hang over your fireplace, that would be cute too. I also made these really cute stars out of yarn, and I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel that shows you how to make those stars if you want to make some of those as well. But I went ahead and made some to put in between my Christmas trees, and I think it came out really cute. What do you think? Okay, so I have my garland that I am now done with, and these top pieces of yarn, now that I have everything in the position that I want, I go ahead and double knot it, and then I'll just go ahead and cut the tops off. Now I'm ready to hang my cards using those little clothespins. So see, it's really just easy and it's cute. It takes virtually no time at all, and I think it displays my Christmas cards really well. Anyway, I hope that you liked watching this video tutorial, and let me know if you end up making something like this. And be sure to tag me at Mel's Bells Crafts and drop a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and Merry Christmas.